Okay. So we left off with Hagar and Ishmael being sent away. And before we get started into that, I just want to say one more thing. Okay, one more thing. It's so funny how, like, when you think about, like, demons and Satan and how powerful he wants to be, right? In order to feel a sense of power and a sense of strength, I think it's so sickening and sad how Satan, he wants to feel in control, right? And then to feel in control, he wants to cause pain. He wants to kill. He wants to harm people, put people through these dark times. But that just shows you how much power Satan actually doesn't have. When I think about these young guys that went and did these awful crimes, right, to people that are just going throughout their day, living life, right? These guys wanted to cause harm on other people. They wanted to feel some type of sense of power because thinking that I have the right to over your life, right? We have the one guy who was racist and it was consumed with race. Oh, I don't like black people. I'm tired of them. And just so racist that he felt like it was his right to go into a neighborhood that was a majority of African American people and to kill them so that he felt some type of power or some type of, this is what you deserve because you're black. And you have to realize these people, you're actually spending your time, all the things that you could be doing in life, you're worried about somebody's skin color. You're that full of hate, that much hate, and you're full of that much rage and evil and inside your mind that you wanted to go and take people's lives who didn't know you, never harmed you, never spoke to you a day in your life. And then I think about this other guy. He's clearly, 18 years old, just like the other guy. And he goes to the most, this area is vulnerable. These are babies, right? These are babies. They are vulnerable. They are just sweet and innocent. They're children. And he goes to this school and harms all of these babies. Went up to the people, the teachers, and spoke very just nasty words to them before he did his horrible actions. And all the while he's playing some type of sad, the one child said that he played some type of sad, sick music and started just, and it's so insane to me how powerful, how Satan wants to feel powerful. He wants power. He wants power. So he goes in there and attacks these babies. That gave him some type of sick sensation of power because he's evil. But I personally believe that this guy deep down inside didn't have any type of confidence in himself. He felt very low about himself, and so he wanted to go out and to harm other people so that he could feel some type of power. And now we're here left to see the destruction and the evil that he's left behind. But now he's on the other side and he is faced with God. This is the part that we don't get to see. He's faced with God. He's going to have to be accountable and answer for every single thing that he has done. See, we're on the earth, in just it's the chaos, the families, and he is on the other side and he's faced with God. And those babies are taken up with God and in God's care while he I'm not, I don't have anything else to say, you guys, because I'm honestly, I don't like evil. I don't like Satan. He's sick. He's sick. And so you have to just remember, when you sin, that's what side are you on? You got to pick a side. Pick a side, and just remember to stay prayed up, stay strong in your faith, remember to pray, and just continue to go, because Satan is just, he's disgusting. He's disgusting. I'm telling you, like, just no answers. No answers, man. No answers. But that's why I say this world is not our friend. It's not our friend. It's not our friend. It's not our friend. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into the reading. Abraham's covenant with Abimelech. Okay. At that time, Abimelech, accompanied by Phicol, the commander of his army, said to Abraham, God is with you in everything you do. Swear to me, by God here and now, that you will not break an agreement with me or with my children and descendants, as I have been loyal to you. So you will be loyal to me and to the country where you are a resident alien. And Abraham said, I swear it. But Abraham complained to Abimelech because of the well that Abimelech's servants had seized. Abimelech replied, I don't know who did this thing. You didn't report anything to me, so I hadn't heard about it until today. Abraham took flocks and herds and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. Abraham separated 7 ill lambs from the flock, and Abimelech said to Abraham, Why have you separated these 7 ill lambs? He replied, You are to accept the 7 ill lambs from me, so that this act will serve as my witness that I dug this well. Therefore, that place was called Beersheba, because it was there that the two of them swore an oath. After they made a covenant at Beersheba, Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his army, left and returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there he called on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham lived as an alien in the land of the Philistines for many days. So, wow, I'm going to repeat this line right here that I see. God is with you in everything you do. Okay, he's always with us. God, he never leaves us. So just keep that in mind. The sacrifice of Isaac. After these things, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. Here I am, he answered. Take your son, he said, your only son Isaac, whom you love. Go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about. So Abraham got up early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took with him 2 of his young men and his son Isaac. He split wood for a burnt offering and set out to go to the place God had told him about. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. Then Abraham said to his young man, Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there to worship. Then we'll come back to you. Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and laid it on his son Isaac. In his hand he took the fire and the knife, and the 2 of them walked on together. Then Isaac spoke to his father Abram and said, My father. And he replied, Here I am, my son. Isaac said, The fire and the wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. Then the 2 of them walked on together. When they arrived at the place that God had told him about, Abraham built the altar there and arranged the wood. He bound his son Isaac and placed him on the altar on the top of the wood. Then Abraham reached out and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. He replied, Here I am. Then he said, Do not lay a hand on the boy or do anything to him, for I know that you will fear God, since you have not withheld your only son from me. Abraham looked up and saw a ram, caught in the thicket by its thorns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering in place of his son. And Abraham named the place that the Lord will provide. So today it is said, it will be provided on the Lord's mountain. Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, this is the Lord's declaration. Because you have done this thing and not have withheld your only son, I will indeed bless you and make your offspring as numerous as the stars of the sky and the sand on the seashore. Your offspring will possess the city gates of their enemies, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed by your offspring because you have obeyed my command. Abraham went back to his young men, and they got up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham settled in Beersheba. So we can see that clearly we know that God is always with us, right? So like I said before, keep that in mind no matter what you're going through. I know we're going through some dark times today. You may be upset, you may feel just a little bit down, but we have to remember that God is always with us, okay? He never leaves us, okay? And also, I think that this right here, when God is just wanting to test and see how Abram really felt about God himself, he wanted to see if Abram would actually give his son as a sacrifice to him. And Abram's faith in the Lord and his love for God was so strong that he was willing, you guys, like really understand this. He was willing to kill his child as a sacrifice, as an offering to give to God. Because that's how much he trusts God. That's how much faith he has in God. That's how he knows that God is everything. And so giving his son to God is a big deal. And then we see in that moment, God was like, wait a minute, no. Don't do that. You believe in me. You didn't withhold your son from me. You've given me your child. You fear me. You know that I'm here. You know, you see my power. You know that I'm God. And so there's ram that appears in the trees, and that's a substitute for the burnt offering. But Abram's faith, and I think was just really tested in that moment, because he could have been like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving away my son. I'm not going to harm my son for this. I love you, God, but I don't love you that. I mean, I love you, but I don't think I can't take it that far. But he really trusted in God and loved in God, even through the death of his own child. So we have to remember that even through death, even through breaking through the flesh of our skin and all of these things, our souls and our spirits and everything that we are goes to God, and it goes back up to God, because he is the creator. He is in control. He is the beginning. He's the end. God is everything. God is everything. And so if we just keep our faith in him, and when Satan wants to fight us, because I like to think in my mind that Satan just loves fighting with us, right? As Christians, like, you know, I'm far from perfect. There's nothing perfect about me. I have to constantly work on myself every single day, right? And you as well. There's nothing perfect about us. But our love for God is strong. Our fear of God is strong. And so we try to live our lives accordingly to how he wants us to live it, because we know what awaits on the other side. We are aware that this right here is not the kingdom. This is not heaven. This is not the ultimate place where our spirits and our souls will be eternally, like forever. Like, this is not it. So we try to live accordingly to God. And I think that, you know, we had to keep fighting all the time. I really didn't want to I wasn't in the mood for Bible study for days. I was just, moping around. I was crying, just be doing anything, just bust out into tears because my heart just was aching so much, and the pain and the suffering that these people had to go through. I was just hurt. But I thought about it and I said, you know what? No, I'm going to get up. I got to get busy. I got to do another Bible study. I got to talk about God. I have to read his word, because that's what Satan wants. Satan wants you to give in. He wants you to get angry. He wants you to get violent. He wants you to do things that is not of God. He wants to cause distractions, right? He wants you to be distracted so that you can't fulfill what it is that God has in your life. We all have something that God has planned for us in our lives, and we need to be able to stay focused and fight against those demons, fight against Satan, fight against this evil, and keep pushing. We have to fight for these babies that are laid to rest, that have to be laid to rest. We have to fight for the victims in Buffalo. We have to keep fighting every single day for all that stuff. There's so many other things happening. We have to keep fighting. So don't give up. We need to pray, okay? So I'm going to end Bible study right here. And let's do some heavy praying this week. Let's do some heavy praying and sending some love to those families and all the people, to the world and to God's people. Let's send those prayers up to God, because he hears them. And we are going to keep fighting against Satan. And Satan, you are not going to win. All right? So I love you guys. Stay strong. Remember to pray. And I will see you guys in the next Bible study. All right?